Hey everyone, this is Rameyoutdoors and welcome back to Fishing College. Today, we're going to be talking about a term that I'm sure a lot of you have heard in the past, and that is match the hatch. And I'm sure a lot of you have talked to like your grandparents or your dads or whoever, and they've always said the term match the hatch, match the hatch, match the hatch. But what does that mean? And we're going to talk about this in break it down basically as simple as we can and actually give you some real life examples and how to actually find the hatch in your area. All match the hatch really is using your situational awareness and using the resources and the actual forage that is around you and trying to match that as best as you can. So for example, if you notice that there are a lot of bluegill in your pond, trying to use bluegill colors and bluegill style baits are going to really help you in catching fish. If you see that there are a lot of glass minnows or little tiny shad in your pond, using using fluke coloration that look like a shad or a glass minnow can really help you. But this also extends to a lot more than just what's in the water. This can also extend to bugs that are in the area. This can extend to things that are on the bank. It can extend to, things like crawfish. If you have a specific coloration of crawfish, so using that coloration or that style of crawfish can really boost your chances of finding and catching fish. I swear to God, if geese were not protected, he'd be cooked. I'm actually going to give you a really good example. Hellgrammites. They're little tiny bugs that whenever we're fishing for trout, we're actually looking for, and we're looking for the coloration that they have in that area. So we're flipping over rocks and we're looking at the coloration. These hellgrammites are something that a lot of trout feed on a lot. And so if we can match the coloration, size, and shape of the ones that are in that area, that can boost our chances of catching a trout a lot. Another really good example, I'm going around boat ramps, I'm going around different areas, and I'm trying to figure out what kind of bait fish are in that area, in that lake or that pond. Because if I can match the actual coloration, shape, and general action of those bait fish, then that's also going to help me catch that fish. Another really amazing example is that this is actually a real life example to me. Around my house, there are a ton of frogs. We have bullfrogs, we have different types of toads, things like that. And I know that they are a darker coloration in my pond. So whenever I'm throwing a topwater frog, I am going to throw darker colors because that is what those bass are used to eating. Another good example, the crawfish that are in my pond are kind of like this blackish brownish color. So they're a really dark color. And so whenever I am looking for a crawfish imitation, I am going to go with those darker colors. Matching the hatch and understanding the hatch in your area doesn't have to be some 2-3 hour long process. All it does is using your senses and using your sight and basically kind of understanding what your ecosystem looks like. And here's another really good way that you can kind of understand the forage in your area. With a lot of major lakes, let's take Lake Hartwell, which is a lake that is in northeast Georgia, and that's actually not too far from me. I can go online and I can search up Lake Hartwell fish, and it will show me every confirmed fish that is in that ecosystem. So for example, I can look under there and I can start looking for bait fish, and I can start looking at the coloration of bait fish that people have submitted pictures of, people have submitted videos of, and I can start looking at that and trying to imitate it. Or I can look at the coloration of the other fish that are in there. For example, there are gar that are in Lake Hartwell. There are smallmouth bass. So I can go on there and I can start imitating the coloration and the shape of a baby smallmouth bass. And I'm sure that there are a ton of fish in there that are going to be going crazy for a baby smallmouth bass at least at some point in the year. That's not, set in stone information. That is just how it probably is. We're gonna put you down on the chest cam and I'm going to walk around this lake. This is my campus lake, and I am just going to show you what I can find and why I would use this and why I wouldn't use this. So let's get down to that chest cam. All right, and so we are down on the chest cam, and this is actually just where I was just filming. So I only just got this set up, and we're just gonna walk around and see what we can find. So already just kind of starting off, we're going to start looking at what kind of structure, because bait fish, like this little baby bass that I can see right there. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but that is what I can probably think is a spawned bass that has just recently spawned. And there's just one of them there for whatever reason. Not really sure why. Because they usually, the fry, stay around beds. So next we're going to move on. So we know for a fact that the bass in this area have already spawned. So that's a really good thing. Basically, I'm just going to walk around the border of this area, and I'm just going to try and see what kind of insects I can find and anything that might be useful in terms of information. And this can honestly be something that you might do just while you're fishing. This isn't something that you have to take time out of your day just to try and find. Oh, here's a good example. Yeah, so see, there's more fry right there that are kind of in this area. And there's a dead bluegill that is right there. I'm not really sure if you guys can see that, but I can see it very clearly. There's a dead little tiny bluegill about that big, about that big around, about right there. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you can, there is one there. So we know for a fact that there are bluegill in here. I knew that beforehand, but yeah. So these little corner pockets are really great areas to try and scout out bait fish. Just because that is usually where they're going to be hiding. See the wild Smirnoff ice. See, that is going to make for amazing bait, you know? Especially those blue raspberry ones, you know? Oh, so little rotten logs like this, you can roll these over. It's snake season, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, and speaking of snakes, unless you can properly identify them, don't go picking them up. It's not a good idea. Yeah, so from what I'm seeing, and I don't know how well you guys can see this because of glare and like oil in the water, but there's a ton of little baby bass and a ton of little baby bluegill. So that is going to be what we're going to be, that's going to be the information that we have for bait fish in this area. So let's kind of keep moving on. So this is me going to be kind of going like really off the beaten path here and like going really deep and in depth with this. You guys don't need to do this. Oh, here's probably a good example. Here's a good little rock that I can probably flip over. Just some ants, nothing useful there. Oh, that rock is really in there. So here's another good example of another rock. Oh, so earthworm, just a very common earthworm right there. And you're probably telling yourself, wow, an earthworm, that's so useful, they're everywhere. Well, yeah, but you can also try and match the coloration of this earthworm. It's a much darker color than in some areas. So understanding the color of the worms in the area. Let's put this guy back. Oh. I can't tell if those are termites or whatever those are at, but for trout fish, this would be a really good example. You could go with something that's like kind of that color and that general shape. Yeah, for FYI, I am not an entomologist, so if I mislabel a bug, very sorry, but that's just what I thought it was. Oh, a fishing lure. Huh, that's a jointed walking bait, question mark? Huh. That's kind of neat. Yoink. There's a couple ants on that. Plastic bag. And this is a college campus, so It's going to be a little bit trashy. But kind of looking in this little area can probably give you a lot of information that you may not already have. And I'm not really seeing anything. So, one good example. This is actually a really good example. These blowdowns, for example. Insects will crawl across this and occasionally fall in the water. So bass will like to hang around these, and also bait fish like to hang around these. So that's why bass like to hang around them. But let's head on over here. Nothing too interesting in this area. A couple more rocks I could probably flip over, but I'm not going to. So let's just keep on walking this bank. Oh, a couple of hopping something. There's something that was hopping around while I was walking. See if we can, oh, frog. Little tiny dark frog. Don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little tiny frog right there. There he is. Got him. Okay. So, for example, this is some type of frog. I'm not sure what kind, but noticing that he has a darker coloration and that he has these darker colors, he's probably a smaller size. And I mean, obviously, this is probably something that's only a couple months old. But understanding that, oh, bye, buddy. He had a white underbelly. I saw that as well. Whenever I'm choosing a frog color, I might choose something that's a little bit darker. So let's keep on walking. All right. I saw something that was like flobbing or whatever term you want to call that, hopping, etc. around that. This is all mud, so if I bust my butt, you guys are going to get a good laugh. But notice, I've just been walking around this lake for however long this has been rolling, and I've already learned a lot about this lake. I know that the frogs are a darker color. I know that the bass in here have already spawned. I already know that there's bluegill in here. And I know that there are some kind of little tiny termites that are living around this area. And obviously, that information may not be entirely useful depending on what kind of fish you're going for. Like, for example, termites may not be a very good example for bass fishing, but they're a great example for trout fishing. Because I know if there are a bunch of termites or a bunch of similar wood-living animals and insects that are in that area, then what I can do is I can start matching that. But let's keep on walking here. All right. Oh. Yep. So, another thing. While you're doing this, you can pick up some crap. That's actually kind of why I'm carrying this, is so I can pick up anything. I'm not going to kind of go too crazy with it, but I'm going to pick up some of the crap that I can. Like bottles, those are glass. I'm not going to worry about that too much. But if I was here to fish, that is probably all the information I would need. But I'm doing a more in-depth video, and that's all this video is going to be about, is finding forage. So, yeah, so there are little mosquitoes right there. Don't know how useful that would be, but what you could do is that when you're trout fishing, you could put on a midge, because a midge looks very similar to mosquito larvae. Oh, there's some tadpoles that are over here. The frog spawn's happening right now. So we can see that there are little tadpoles and little bait fish, things like that, that are scurrying. And evidently there's some little glass minnows. I did not know that, but I just saw some glass minnows that are in here. There are a bunch of little dragonflies around in this area. That's another really good example. You can use dragonfly style lures and dragonfly representations to try and catch bass, and you can use them to catch trout. So that's actually really great to know. Oh, see? Little schools of fry. I think those are glass minnows, but I could be wrong. But, all right. Oh, yep. Here's another thing. Pick up your daggum fishing line, people. Come on, it takes 2 seconds. Just pick it up. Save a wildlife. Yeah, that. That's a lot of fishing line too. Daggum. But narrows.
I'm assisting.
Nice.
Whew. Hey everybody, just jogged from the other side of the lake.
Yeah, I see that. But yeah, we're just going around and we're trying to find what kind of forage we can find.
Forage?
Yeah, forage.
Oh.
Yeah, but also, I'm also just kind of cleaning up as I go. But let's go up and around here.
I just asked
Uh-huh.
about the canoe policy.
Yeah.
He told me that the one that's like, you know, responsible for the canoes, we cannot fish on the campus canoes, but nowhere near, there's nothing written about
Bringing
your
your
own
own.
canoe.
Oh yeah, I know. So.
And also, what are they gonna do, shoot you?
You say that. We're just going to take a little look around. Well, there's no information here.
Oh, no, bobber.
Bobber?
Yes.
Huh.
Are these bullet bobbers or whatever?
Yeah, little tube bullet bobbers.
Yeah.
But
Oh, fine.
hook. Yep, so see? This is why you should pick your crap up, people. Oh my god. It's like 30, 40 pound mono.
Yeah.
Good lord. Okay, so we're kind of coming up on an area right here. We're just kind of following a trail right now. But so here's a really good example. So there are eastern box turtles here, ribbon snakes, rat snakes. Oh, different types of skinks. So if you ever are in a park or anything like that and you see stuff like this, take note of it, because stuff like this can actually be really useful to you.
And sometimes can save your life.
Yeah, and sometimes it can save your life. Because there's definitely a lot more than just ribbon snakes here. There's definitely copperheads, but I don't think they want to put copperheads on that because they don't want to be scaring people. You know, those little fine arts. Yeah, these fine arts majors can only take so much stress. All right, so kind of coming up on here, you guys saw on that log, there were a bunch of turtles that just jumped off.
And this is a lure.
Oh. Oh, nice, a little rattle trap that's missing its hooks. Again.
We can always put hooks in here.
Oh, watch out.
Yeah,
that has nails. Yeah, that has nails. But little corner areas right here where the water is pushing all this can actually be really great areas to look for forage because all of it's going to get pushed over here. But,
how do you miss your hooks like this?
oh, they probably rusted off.
But wait, look at this knot. Beaver.
Oh, yeah. Yep, so we also do know that there's a beaver here because we've also hooked into him before.
Well, we haven't hooked into him.
He got tangled
He got a little tangled.
because we were night
Hopefully
fishing.
it will be a problem.
Oh, that board right there with the nails sticking up, set that up against a tree. Nails facing into the tree. Or just have it face down. So someone doesn't, yeah, there we go.
Don't wanna flipping things
All right, so
in this economy.
in this economy, yeah. Oh, so little, oh, more frogs, also dark color. Another bobber. Let's go ahead and throw that in the bag. So. All right, well.
Let's give you a little push, buddy. Oh, there's a dam.
Oh, yeah, beaver's made himself a little dam. Dam, that's a nice dam.
Damn.
Dam indeed.
Damn, you're right. Damn, that's a dam. Damn, you're right.
All right. So, and off we go. Oh, well, I assume so, but there are deer back here that I assume walk through here and probably bed here.
Well, this is rural North Carolina, so there must be a lot of deer. And if we're lucky, we might spot one. If we're unlucky, we might spot a bear.
No, bears wouldn't be around here.
Something telling me. You can go with the computer.
All right, so.
There is a lot of possibility that there are lures here.
Oh, I'm sure.
Watch out for the mud, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of mud.
You might sink.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so see, another frog, dark color. So what that tells me is whenever I'm throwing a frog here, I want to be throwing something with a darker color.
We're in beaver territory right now.
Beaver territory.
Don't call in games until they pull on you.
Was that like a sorority party, beaver territory?
Again, it's all fun and games until they pull off on you with a Glock.
I got a Glock in my Rari. Oh, big ol' frog.
Wait. Nice. That's a.
So,
That's not a baby bullfrog. That's a regular.
yeah, it's some kind of frog. I couldn't tell you. But, yeah, so he's a little bit of a lighter coloration. I really hope that helps. And in just about 25 minutes of just walking around my campus lake, I figured out a lot of new things about this place. So if you guys have any other questions or anything like that, please leave them down in the comments down below. And as per usual, have fun catching fish, people. Peace.